Bob, it's my great privilege to introduce you a scientist, an educator, and our friend, Bob Elde.
Wow, thank you, Terry. But really, really pleased to be here today and to feel the energy that all of you have mustered to address what needs to be done. You know, we come from up in Minnesota, and some of you may have heard of a guy named Garrison Keillor, and he used to be, the energy that he needed came from powder milk biscuits, and that give you the strength to do what needs to be done. Powder milk biscuits. So we're finding our powder milk biscuits here this morning, I think. All right, well, I'm so pleased, as I said, to be here with you and grateful for your, the energy that you're devoting to these really dire and important matters. I'm so grateful for all that we share in terms of our common goals of improving the planet for ensuing generations. And you know, as has already been said here, we've been especially graced this spring by a gorgeous, gorgeous spring. You know, we've had plentiful rains, the wildflowers have come on in spades, the grasses are greening, the trees have leafed out. It's really, really amazing. And that's all the more poignant, I think, for many of us, because, you know, the recent holidays and spring breaks from school, many of us have hosted visits from family and grandkids in particular. And it's these grandkids that are really the focus of what I think we need to aim toward. What is this hill country going to be like? What is Texas going to be like? What is this country going to be like, the world going to be like for those kids 20 years from now, 40 years from now? What are we leaving for them? I'm a father, a grandfather, and a scientist. I've studied science and the natural world really all my life, from when I was a young kid, just curious and wanting to know how things worked. As a neuroscientist, in which I really trained, I was privileged to investigate what the late astrophysicist Carl Sagan said was the most complex thing in the entire universe, the human brain. Human brain is probably the most complex thing in the universe, and yet it's one of the most common things. There are more than 7 billion of these things operating in us around the planet today. So, as a science and academic administrator, I came to know intimately the incredible rigor that scientists apply when studying really complex problems. Be the problem the brain, how does it work? Cancer, how do things go awry that lead to cancer? Or climate. When we face complexity, we turn to science, and that has brought us forward as a nation and forward as a planet. The best and brightest minds are drawn to these complex problems. This is a wrestling match within science. It's a wrestling match with no holds barred. It's really competitive stuff. It's a wrestling match where one fake move and you're out. The fake stuff doesn't persist. The process of science isn't perfect, but it's probably the most self-correcting of all human activities. What I know, as do all of you, is that 97% of the scientists who investigate the climate systems of this Earth agree that climate change is happening, and the major cause of the pace of the change is human activity. 2 of the indicators that this change is occurring are the CO2 levels that are increasing rapidly and causing, and as a consequence of burning fossil fuels, such as coal and gasoline. And secondly, the pace of these changes is faster than what we know from the recorded history of geologic sampling records. What I've recently learned also is right here on the ground, right here in District 21, and this is thanks to the Yale Climate Opinion Mapping Project. Parenthetically, Yale is the alma mater of our congressman. I hope he would pay attention to this. Right here in District 21, 65% of us believe that global warming is happening. 54% believe that global warming is caused mostly by human activities. And 72% trust scientists about global warming. How then can it be that our member of Congress, charged not only with representing us, but in his role as chair of the House Science, Space, and Technologies Committee, vehemently disagrees not only with 97% of the climate scientists, but on a point-by-point basis, disagrees with his constituents? Whose interests does he portend to represent? Who does he represent? I might have a clue here. I might have a clue. Now, I have to confess, I was going to say this is a dream that I had, but in full disclosure, it's a fake dream, okay? If there's any media, you know, want to know, this is a fake dream, okay? So all of us know out here in the hill country, it's pretty common, especially on weekends, to see folks who gather, who are vintage car aficionados. And they gather around and often gather in parking lots just like this. Well, wait a second. They often gather on a Saturday morning in a parking lot like this, and then decide where they're going to go and drive the beautiful country roads of the hill country. And you see them caravanning. And it's a pretty glorious sight. I mean, I'm not one of those car aficionados, but I sure admire some of the work, the restoration work that those folks have put into. And you know what? But in my dream, I saw that there was one really sharp car. It was a 56 Chevy Bel Air, two-tone. It was turquoise and ivory. You know those? You remember that? Yeah, it was a great, great car in the day, and it sure looked like a great... Oh, wow! I know this wasn't yours, though. This was a replica of yours, okay? So, and, you know, it sure looked like a great car, great restoration, and I saw the driver get in, and he honked the horn worked, and he could roll the windows down. It looked like it had been a great restoration job. And then all of the cars started to move out of the parking lot, and this one car, instead of going forward down Main Street, it went backwards down Main Street. And you know who the driver of that car was? It was our Congressman, Lamar Smith. And unfortunately, either he or the person he hired, I guess, to restore it, didn't put the linkage of the transmission back in properly. And this car would only go in reverse. It would only go, so here everyone's going down the road that way, and here's old Lamar heading that way in reverse, violating the laws. You can't drive down the in reverse on Main Street, or the constable will arrest you, right? That was Lamar, though. So he's stuck in reverse, haplessly trying to revive a past that will never be again. Will Lamar next try to reinstitute the telegraph?
Yeah.
Smoke signals?
Yeah.
Does anyone here know of a past that will be again? Is there a past that's going to happen again? No. Well, Lamar, I guess, is the only adherent to that philosophy. So stuck in reverse for us, Lamar stuck in reverse means rapid reversal of the progress to restore our imperiled environment. We've made progress, and he intends to just keep his transmission in reverse. Stuck in reverse for Lamar, moreover, means lucrative financial rewards from the constituents, so to speak, constituents in quote, to which he has pivoted, the fossil fuel industries. They are not from here. Everyone else is getting out of neutral, shifting into first, second, third, and if it's a 5-speed, fifth gear even. Leading U.S. industries know the way forward. For example, the wind, the solar industries, even the auto industry. Disruptive technology is changing for the better, the way things can be. It was interesting in this past week to see that Tesla has surpassed Ford Motor Company in valuation. Something's going on, Lamar. and it's not going back to the past. Does anyone, except the deadly trio, the trio being Trump, Pruitt, and Lamar Smith, expect that coal mining is the next big thing? Competing nations, China, Germany, many others, they're seeing the way forward. They're investing in the research and development to develop the new technologies that will provide cleaner water, cleaner environment. But Lamar is stuck in reverse. Wake up, Lamar, wake up!
Wake up!
Bonnie and I retired from our day jobs, as Terry told you, but we launched the Science Mill in Johnson City because we care about the future. Of course, we care about the future of our own children and grandchildren, but the Science Mill goes way beyond concern for our own families. 3 points. First, we are concerned by the incredible environmental and social challenges across this planet that will require a new generation of problem solvers. We're getting to the point where we're not going to be able to make the changes in our day that we want to see happen. We need to discover and empower those kids who will take the bit and pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math to solve these problems that we're creating in even more rapid form for them. And secondly, these young people around us, be they rural, urban, well-to-do, or poor, are really our only hope for developing solutions to the problems that we're leaving them. And third, all of these young people, every young person, has this indelible trait, the two indelible traits of curiosity and creativity. The most important attributes for creating careers that can solve these vexing problems and create a satisfying life for themselves. They need to be inspired one by one. They have just what it takes. But Lamar Smith undermines these efforts to inspire these young people. And the human capital endowed in each of these children by his wanton disregard for real science and for the weight of evidence as the basis for public policy. He also undermines these efforts by unfunding, defunding the educational efforts of the EPA, NASA, and NOAA. Why should a young person aspire to solve the problems we've created if they can't receive an education in these matters, or if there is no opportunity for careers to solve these problems? If there are no careers, if there's no funding to be the R&D force, why should the kids aspire to go in this direction? How immoral, and demoralizing can you get, Lamar? How immoral and demoralizing can you get? It's time for you to reboot. And in case you don't have an aide to do it for you, here's the clue. It's Control-Alt-Delete. Reboot or get out and simply join the industry with whom you are in bed. You are not representing us or the future. My grandchildren, the grandchildren of you, all of us gathered here today, and the grandchildren around the world need and expect more from you, Lamar. So, my dream, and this isn't a fake dream, in contrast to that earlier one. My dream, my vision, is that all of us here roll up our sleeves, to ensure that today's children have abundant clean air, clean water, and food, so that they can work to stitch together a world of peace and justice for all. Thank you very much. Let's go.